Hi guys and gals, Froggy here. What I'm going to show you today is how to put a new cover on your center console. You can see this one's worn out. I put some special tape over it which holds it together for a while, but it's really pretty ugly, so this is going to be how to fix it. First thing I want you to do is take the cover off of the console. So I'm going to remove these 3 screws here. I need both hands, so I'm not going to, well, maybe I can show you one. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to go off camera and remove the rest of them. Okay guys and gals, we've got our console out. We've seen the damage. Tools. You're going to need a heavy-duty stapler. This is a Arrow T50M. Don't try to do it with one of these. It's not going to come out well. You can use a regular Phillips screwdriver, or my preference is a power screwdriver. And wow, that's it for tools. Not a very long tool list. We are going to I want to tell you where I got this kit. z-interiors.com or www.zealousinteriors.com. I don't know if you can see that or not. You get some instructions here, and I'm going to put up a video. So let's start, let's move this around a little bit. We got the instructions if we need them, but it's going to be pretty cool, pretty obvious. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 screws. And the first thing we do is start pulling these screws. I'm trying my best to stay in frame here. I may check the camera, because I've got this up on an angle, and see if I was in frame. There's my screws. Let me check the camera right there. Yeah, that should have been in frame. Okay. I'm going to take this plastic bottom piece off. Check it to see if it's cracked or anything. You could repair it with JB Weld or some plastic epoxy. Yeah. I've got all these little places here where the screws go in. They are a little bit beat up. This is plastic. Ford probably didn't spend a lot of money on this plastic, but I think enough of these are in good shape so that we're going to be okay. This is the cover. This is the original padding, and I spent 2 or 3 extra bucks, and I got some luxury padding, some special padding that we're going to add on top of the regular Ford padding. So, first thing we're going to do is start pulling these staples, and I'm going to get a little screwdriver to help me pull those staples off. Yeah, just like this. I'll probably shut the camera off. I'm not going to show me pulling all these staples, but they come out pretty easy. Just stick your screwdriver under there. They're not in very tight, so I'm going to go off camera now and pull the rest of them so I don't bore you to death. Okay, we've got our broken cover off, and there's a really thin padding that I don't think it's worth saving it. I'm going to toss that. And then it has some more durable padding that's in good shape. And that's where we're going to put our new padding on top of that padding, and that's going to be pretty comfortable, I think. Now, as far as the plastic, it does show some cracking. So I'm thinking that I'm going to get some plastic epoxy and maybe just reinforce around some of these cracked areas. Yeah, that's not in fabulous shape, so I am going to reinforce that, and I'm going to put a little dab of the epoxy that I use at some of these holes, so that when I screw into it, the epoxy will dry and it'll hold those screws in pretty good. So let me go through my drawer and get some epoxy out, and I'll show you what I'm going to use. This is what I've got. It's Loctite plastic epoxy, 7-minute set time. What you do is you take the cap off, squeeze it out, mix it up on a piece of scrap wood. I usually use scrap wood. You can mix it up on a piece of plastic or anything. And then you take your screwdriver or popsicle stick or something and you spread it around. So I'm going to go mix up some of this. You just shoot out 2 equal parts, comes out equally by itself, and then mix it. Actually, I've got a little plastic lid here, so I'm just going to show you how this works. Just squeeze it out like that. You can actually, they did a pretty nice job with the design of this dispenser, and you can seal it up again and use it again. I'm going to use a screwdriver blade to mix it. Then you always want to clean your screwdriver blade. Don't let that dry on there. But it's a nice little mixing tool. That ought to be about enough, I think. I'm going to cover that back up and use it again next time. So this is how you mix it up. One side is clear and one side's got some yellow color to it. Now remember, you got 7 minutes, so don't walk away and go get a beer and come back and expect this to work. There. Now get this back in frame. The biggest problem I see is actually this front lip of the console. So I'm going to put most of it on this front lip. Just going to smear it on. If I don't have enough, I'll make some more. This is just okay. Froggy ran out of memory on the camera, so I had to put some more memory in. Now we're back. I mixed up the rest of that epoxy, and I spread it all over here. A couple of these reinforced a couple of these little places where the screws are going to go in, and reinforce the other end too. So once that dries, I think that's going to last pretty good. Now, if you're doing a console cover that's only 2 or 3 or 4 years old, you're probably not going to run into this, but this is a 2000, so it's like 13 years old. So you got it. I guess you have to expect there's going to be some damage to this plastic frame. So anyway, let's continue. This has a front and back, so you want to put the side that's going to show goes down, and there's an arrow on this for the front. Mainly because it's got some cuts here for wrapping around the screw holes. So let's put this down. First this, then our fancy extra foam. Just kind of, let's center it, and let's test fit this. Just center the plastic on the foam. Yeah, and then all of that on the vinyl that we're going to cover with. Now this epoxy is still wet, but I'm going to go ahead and put it on there. It'll dry underneath. Now here's where our staple gun comes in. And to use one of these, you've got to press into it. You can't just lay it there and pull the trigger, because the staple won't go in. You have to press into this a bit. So let's start here with the front. Wrap it around there. Now see, that didn't go in all the way. You gotta almost use two hands. Yeah, I don't like the way those are going in. I'm going to try this again. Let me go off camera for a second and experiment. Okay, I tried a couple more, and it's really not penetrating the plastic very well. I don't know if it's because the plastic is old and it's aged and gotten hard. However, it's going to hold them well enough so that we can get this wrapped. It only has to hold it till we put the cover on, and then the cover holds the whole thing down. And also, it just so happens that the epoxy is holding the new cover on there too. So I'm giving this a little tug to make sure that it's tight, like that. Let's see if this one goes in. No, not really. I think these staples are thicker and heavier than the original ones, so I'm not going to try and find another staple somewhere. This will hold it on pretty good. Now we want to go back and start. I'm going to take one quick look at this. Yeah, that looks okay. Now we're going to start folding like this. You've got to do a fold and then another fold to wrap it around the corners. You see how that I'm doing that? So you want to pull them up kind of tight and tuck it under. And then staple it. Pull it tight, tuck it under, staple. Let's do the other side. Pull it tight. Okay. It's not perfect, but I think it's going to be pretty good. And I'm really not sure how you would wrap it any tighter. I actually think the extra foam is taking away some of the material that I need to pull it tighter with. But we're going to keep going. I'm going to cut a few reliefs in here so that when I go to screw in.
And tomorrow night, 6 p.m., going to be around. Phil Kogan of The Amazing Race will be our guest on My Turn. As you know, Phil is a world traveler. He gets to go everywhere with that TV show. So it'll be interesting to hear what his music is like and all the stories that he brings you from The Amazing Race. Phil Kogan, guest DJs, tomorrow night, 6 p.m.
Yeah, once you get to the middle part here, you don't really have to do the tuck part.
Number 1 on your list was the iPad. But some of you said you wanted an iPhone 5 or even a laptop. So with your input and help from the San Diego County Toyota dealers, we created the KPRI Mini-A-Day giveaway. Listen for hourly secret
Just cutting some relief
we pick a winner who gets the
so I can get my screws back in there.
iPad Mini.
Like that.
It's the KPRI Mini-A-Day giveaway, preserving your freedom to choose. Mr. Mazda Carlsbad has the vehicles you want and offer credit for financing to save you money. Well, Mazda 0% for 2013, CX-5s at 0.9%.
I think that that might be it.
Daddy, where are my keys?
Right here.
Thank you.
Sorry about that, a little interruption in the video. That's my daughter and that's her truck that I'm working on. Hold on. I'm going to get off camera for a second. Okay, we got all our pleats there. We got everything stapled in. This is what it looks like. I like it. It's nice and soft. It's pretty good. It's got a little bit of a wrinkly thing here. Part of that I think might be because of this extra padding, and part of it is probably because I'm not a great upholstery guy. But anyway, it sure looks better than that, right? Color's a good match. This is probably faded. I'm sure it's faded. So I'm pretty happy with this. All we have to do now, screw this back on and reinstall it. So I'm going to screw it on. I'm not going to show you me putting 9 screws on, whatever it is there, but I'll show you when I'm finished. Now remember, as you're screwing these in, there's only a little plastic plug on the other side of there, so don't screw them in too tight. Just get there, give it a little final twist, and it's going in pretty good. Show you a couple more. It should, well, pretty much everything lines up by itself. Because it's made to do that. Now you might even screw right through some of these. If you didn't allow clearance for the screw to go right into the plastic, you could probably screw right through this vinyl. I don't think that'll hurt anything. 3 more here. Now that middle one I'm going to have to screw right through the vinyl. And then your other 3 screws to put it back in the car. Which my daughter drove off with the car, so I'm not going to show you that, but it's just the reverse of how I took it off, and I did show you how I took it off. Yeah, see, that goes right through the vinyl. I gotta check that one. Okay, so that's it. There's your beauty shop. If this has been helpful to you, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more from Froggy about the Explorer truck or my other family vehicles, 02 Suburban, 04 Corvette Z06, I got a 95 BMW M3, a 2007 BMW 328i, and the newest one, a 04 Lexus IS 300. So, any of that stuff, I do all the work on it, and you're welcome to join me on YouTube and check it out. Thanks, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.